Now the latest from ITV News in the West Country.
Hello and welcome to Friday's programme. I'm Jonty.
And I'm Kate Haskell. Coming up tonight between now and 6:30, the parents who say their children are running out of time as they wait for a new drug to be approved.
Just doesn't seem like equal access to the NHS for all, and it's, we think, unfairly picking on vulnerable individuals who haven't got a choice of treatment.
Also on the programme tonight, the supermarket protest in Somerset with a difference.
The skeleton of a teenager dating back 4,000 years is uncovered at a historic site in Wiltshire.
And Bob meets the amateur gardeners who say something's prowling in the Dorset countryside. Good evening. The parents of two young boys from Gloucestershire who have a rare muscular disease say a new drug needs to be approved soon or they could run out of time.
14-year-old Archie and 12-year-old Isaac both suffer from morchio. If the disease is left untreated, sufferers rarely live beyond their 20s.
They've been told the arrival of a new drug on the NHS, which could help, has been delayed while a review is carried out by the health regulator NICE. Bob Constantine has been speaking to them.
Two boys play on a miniature, if rather wonky, pool table. It's hard to believe Archie and Isaac Eaton are 14 and 12 years old. They suffer from a rare and life-limiting genetic disorder, morchio, which stunts their growth as well as affecting their lungs and eyesight.
I think from our viewpoint, you adapt your life because this condition has been with the boys throughout the whole of their life. You adapt your life to naturally absorb those things into day-to-day activities because you have to. Walking around a supermarket takes us maybe 3 times as long as somebody else because their legs don't move as fast as other people. But that is what is normality for us.
The boys, who live at Longhope in Gloucestershire, are among only 100 morchio sufferers in the entire UK. For the past 6 years, they've been on a clinical trial of a new drug, Vimizim. They're seen here receiving it in hospital in Manchester, which they say has eased the symptoms. But even though the drug has now been licensed, the NHS won't make it available, pending a further review by the clinical watchdog NICE.
To single out one group of patients as being the ones who aren't allowed treatment just because their condition happens to be very rare just doesn't seem like equal access to the NHS for all, and it's, we think, unfairly picking on vulnerable individuals who haven't got a choice of treatment.
The boys maintain Vimizim, which replaces a missing enzyme in their bodies, has been effective.
Had more energy to jump around and do the stuff that I want to do, because I like to do active stuff as well as computerised stuff as well.
Really, we just like it authorised in this country, partly just to be on the same level pegging as other countries that have authorised.
The Eatons are now campaigning for the drug, which costs £7,000 per patient per week before any discount, to be made available soon, and say the rareness of the disease shouldn't be a barrier. NICE say a decision should be made later in the year. Bob Constantine, ITV News, Gloucestershire.
Well, I'm joined now by Charlotte Roberts from the MPS Society, a charity that supports families like the Eatons. Charlotte, do you accept the reasons that have been given in the delay in making this treatment available on the NHS?
We haven't really been given a robust reason at all. It's been down to process failure. The families were expecting decision made, back in December. That was delayed following a legal challenge, and then we had about 3 or 4 dates through June and July where we were told a decision was going to be made and none came. And eventually on the 2nd of July we heard that via press release that a decision was not going to be made until October. The false promises, broken promises of the dates throughout June and July was just cruel to the families.
Now obviously there are huge cost implications with this drug, and there are many other diseases requiring treatment. Do you think the cost outweighs the benefits?
Without treatment, average life expectancy of somebody with morchio is 25 years. They're not effective cognitively, and our adults do tend to go on to university, gain degrees, PhDs, and work if the condition allows. It's not just a negative equation, this. Yes, the drug is expensive, but any drug for ultra-rare disease is going to be expensive. The UK led on the clinical trial, and the NHS benefited substantially from the investment in the clinical trial research. The fact that this drug has now been licensed for 13 months and has been reimbursed in up to nearly 30 countries now, the UK is just lagging behind.
So what will you be doing next to try and get this treatment available?
We're trying to, at the moment, those that are on the clinical trial have had treatment stopped, and our immediate concern is trying to crowdfund the money to try and fund the gap between now, when the children like Archie and Isaac are not on treatment, and a decision in October. And we will continue to put on pressure and ask questions as to why is a decision and process failure delaying, the children are suffering as a consequence.
Charlotte Roberts, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Police have appealed for help after renowned Bristol DJ was reported missing. 73-year-old Derek Morris, known as DJ Derek, is well known throughout the city, but hasn't been seen for 3 weeks and was reported missing by his family last night. The news of his disappearance is being shared online, including by Bristol Mayor George Ferguson.
A church in Bath will be out of action for months after being badly damaged in a fire. More than 40 firefighters were called to St Mary's Catholic Church in Julian Road yesterday. The Diocese of Clifton says the 19th century building will be repaired, but services will be held in the parish hall until somewhere more suitable can be found.
New government figures out today show Bristol has been booming in the last few years. Bristol is the only city region in England with an employment rate above the national average, nearly 76%. The figure has been put down to the number of people commuting to Bristol, as well as those who live and work in the city.
Now, Tesco has come under fire today, but it's from protesters who don't want their local store to shut. The supermarket giant is planning to close its Metro branch in Street this September.
Well, as David Woodland reports, it's a little unusual for the company to find itself being asked to keep a supermarket open.
In Stokes Croft in Bristol, protests about a new Tesco branch opening eventually boiled over into riot.
Save our store! Save our store!
Here in Street, it was still noisy, but a trifle more sedate. Even so, passions are running high, but this time about the closure of their supermarket, the last in the centre of the village.
Years ago we had 4 supermarkets in the high street, and when this one goes we'll have none at all.
Shirley Davis has multiple sclerosis and uses a wheelchair. All her essential shopping is done here.
I've got no other way of getting to the supermarkets out of town. The staff here are very helpful. I don't know what I'll do.
I live just up the road, and it's fine for me because I can pick up stuff, but now I'm going to have to travel and cost me more just to travel. I haven't got a car, all I got is a little electric bike.
I'm a Streetonian, lived in Street all my life, and I've seen an awful lot of changes. This store is the heart of the community. We need it for all people.
Tesco says it's trying to find work for its 87 employees in other stores. They told me closure is the last thing we want to do, but the company has been under review for several months and the Street store is unprofitable.
Big supermarkets used to want a presence everywhere, but the retail world is changing. Online shopping and fierce competition from discounters means people here may become victims of forces outside their control. David Woodland, ITV News, Street.
You are watching ITV News West Country with Kate and Jonty. Thanks for your company this evening. Still ahead before 6:30. The £10 note worth thousands. We'll tell you why in a few moments.
And we visit a garden that has more than a touch of Versailles about it. It's actually right in the middle of the Dorset countryside. It's the latest in our series, Open All Flowers.
Now, at the beginning of the month, we brought you the story of one of the largest archaeological digs in the country taking place in Wiltshire.
The circle at Marden Henge is 10 times bigger than nearby Stonehenge. And after a little more than 6 weeks, the excavation has already uncovered an impressive find.
Yes, a 4,000-year-old skeleton, thought to be that of a teenager, has been found, buried along with an amber necklace. Our Wiltshire correspondent Robert Murphy reports.
To you and I, these bones may not give much away. This is an arm bone, but to experts they can give information, clues, secrets about life in the Bronze Age.
What I'm holding here is the skull. You know, what's immediately obvious is the lower jaw that you can see here, with the teeth there. As you can see, pretty white, gleaming white.
Gleaming white because this person lived thousands of years before sugar came here. The body was found in this trench near the village of Marden on Salisbury Plain. They're unsure if it's a boy or girl, but the bones belong to someone in their early teens. And around their neck, these amber pieces from a necklace.
There's a question here of some kind of status, and you know, the amber is obviously not local, so this is a treasured item, and you know, might suggest that this individual was quite special.
The remains were found in what's known as a crouched position. That's how people were buried 4,000 years ago.
It's amazing what a burial can do. We all understand as archaeologists how much information we can get from a burial on diet and the society, the cause of death, all these sorts of things. But it also, you know, it's very an emotional thing to find a burial, particularly someone so young.
They've been digging here at Marden for 6 weeks. This body has been the biggest discovery. Some druids say that when archaeologists find bodies, they should leave them undisturbed. Not so, says the dig leader.
Every time we find a burial like this, we need to make the most of it, get the most information out of it. We can look at the wealth of information that comes from it, and based on that we can celebrate the life of this individual and celebrate this society. To me, that's the most respectful thing we can do, rather than rebury them with the ceremony we don't understand, a religion we don't know about.
The skeleton will be cleaned and analysed, the bones revealing secrets taken to the grave 4,000 years ago. Robert Murphy, ITV News.
Now the ITV News continues with the national and international stories at 6:30. Here's Alistair Stewart with the details.
Order, disorder over the Speaker's expense account. John Bercow travelled short distances at huge cost in chauffeur-driven cars. He says he's mindful of costs, others call it obscene. The couple report an ill-Connery met after the Tunisia beach massacre, their extraordinary tale of separation and survival. And Stonehenge offers newfound clues about life and death in the Bronze Age. Join Charlene White and me at 6:30.
So the main headlines in the West Country this evening. The parents of 2 young boys from Gloucestershire who suffer from the muscular disease Morquio say a new drug needs to be approved soon or they could run out of time. The Eaton family have been told the arrival of a new drug which could help has been delayed while a review is carried out by health regulator NICE.
Let's turn to we'll come to some sports news in a bit, but first, before that, how would you like to own an original piece of work by the renowned artist Banksy? It sounds too good to be true unless you've got hundreds of thousands of pounds to spare.
But that's exactly what one lucky winner can claim simply by contributing to an online appeal to raise enough funds to make it possible for Bristol to stage Europe's biggest street art festival this weekend. Richard Payne has the exclusive story.
A Banksy for a tenner. With its trademark wit, this Princess Diana emblazoned note, paid out by the Banksy of England, is the unmistakable work of the Bristol artist. And now the property of one, fittingly anonymous, winner, whose £10 donation helped to make this weekend's street art celebration possible.
A month we tried to raise 15 grand and we just did it. Part of that was the people could win a Banksy note, and that helped us contribute towards the total.
which means Upfest is back on the streets of South Bristol, cementing its place as the home of a distinctive, thought-provoking style of art, attracting advocates from near and far. Martin Ron is one. The Argentinian artist has the giant task of leaving his mark on the building Mayor George Ferguson calls his business and home, the tobacco factory.
Bristol is well known like a center of urban art. It's like a gallery, open sky gallery, street art. It's a personality of the city.
A personality many here now admire. Graffiti once deplored, replaced by intricate, skillful creations like this one, which is being replaced this weekend.
They got a photograph in their hand, basically, the people that do it, and they just sort of do a bit of artwork, get back down, go back, look at it, and then go back up. And, you know, it doesn't take them long. It's all done with aerosol cans.
Aerosol cans which have been piling up, ready to be released to the hands of the artists and the appreciation of thousands of visitors. For some, the artwork has transformed the area and their business.
Once we had the artwork done, people all of a sudden turning their heads, and it's been great because people then coming in, seeing what it's all about, and the artwork has been very much related to the gym and what we do in there as well, so it's had a massive positive effect on us, yeah.
All week, old designs have been painted out in readiness of giving old walls new life and Bristol's streets a fresh canvas. Richard Payne, ITV News, Bristol.
Absolutely amazing work there, and they really don't hang about there, do they? Sort of getting out with their spray cans and off they go, and then they just paint over it if they don't like it.
I just admire anyone that could do anything like that. It was a big disappointment to my art teacher, I have to say.
Right, let's turn to some sports news now. And the board of Bristol City Supporters Trust say they will boycott the club's first match of the season due to the astronomical ticket price. City travelled to Sheffield Wednesday on the opening day of the championship season with an adult ticket priced at £39. The board say the price, which is set by the home club, is a step too far. In comparison, Bristol City's away match with Luton in the Capital One Cup 3 days later is priced at £18 for an adult ticket.
Well, cricket now, and Somerset have fallen to another defeat in a season of so many near losses.
The Sidermen pushed hosts Hampshire hard in the T20 blast, but a new-look team, under new management as well, is still struggling to find its feet, as our sports correspondent Matthias Kurt now reports.
Try as they might this season, the winning formula continues to evade an evolving Somerset side. With quarter-final qualification already beyond them, this was about a young team showing some promise. The experience and skill of Hampshire's Michael Carberry got the better of them to begin with.
Beautiful batting from Carberry.
But steadily the wickets started to fall. Jamie Overton sprang into action, and Max Waller worked Hampshire into a spin with 3 well-taken wickets to leave the hosts defending a meagre total. But with Somerset's all-time leading run scorer Marcus Trescothick on the sidelines, no one was able to build a big score. New opener Adam Hose could be the future. He hit a few boundaries, as did the new captain Jim Allenby.
That's the way to go about it.
And one of the old guard, Peter Trigo, gave a section of the crowd a memorable moment with a big 6.
Oh, brilliant!
They just couldn't live with some world-class bowling, though, and Somerset's season now stumbles into the 50-over competition, which starts on Sunday. Matthias Kurt, ITV News.
Well, former world BMX champion Liam Phillips will try and regain that title at the World Championships this weekend. The reigning World Cup champion from Burnham-on-Sea leads the British team's charge in Belgium tomorrow, having already started the season in good form, recently winning the first meet in Manchester. He became the world champion for the first time in 2013.
And in boxing, British middleweight champion Nick Bang Bang Blackwell faces his first title defence tomorrow night. The 24-year-old from Trowbridge in Wiltshire only won the Lonsdale belt back in May at the 3rd time of asking. Now he must stop Damon Jones at the Derby Arena to hold on to it. Good luck to him.
Now, I've been looking forward to this, the next in our series of Open All Flowers, in which Bob Crampton has been exploring some of the West Country's many beautiful gardens.
Yes, this week Bob visits a huge garden surrounding an 18th century rectory at Pulham in North Dorset and discovers there could be something lurking in the woodland.
old rectory dates back to 1720. The garden here far more recent. In the 1970s, this place was derelict. The house was nearly falling down, the garden a complete mess. The previous owners then started shaping the land around the house, and Nick and Ginny Elliott have embraced that project over the last 2 decades. And what they've achieved here is a relaxing garden. Apart from that is a touch of Versailles on the front lawn, but they've got the weathered chairs, they've got the plants coming up through the paving, and they've got that view of the soft Dorset countryside. What were you planning for this garden?
Not really planning anything, because I didn't know anything about gardening at all. Nothing at all. I had a great friend who lives down there who basically gave me a 3-year graduate degree course in gardening. And most of the flowers that are here now came from her garden.
The flower beds are obviously rich in variety, but it's really pleasing that they're allowed to cascade over, almost invading the living area. It's a sort of freedom in the formality.
I like a formal shape and then just a sort of overflowing abundance of flowers. And we've got stone edges around here, but everything hangs over the edge, which makes it much more hard work. No earth. We don't like seeing earth. No earth to be visible.
There are 2 wooded areas. This one covers around about 5 acres. I must say, very cool and inviting during the summer months. The pathways here weaving their way in between the trees in this wonderful dappled light. But there's also an air of mystery, or dare I say, danger.
Well, it's about 4 years ago, our gardener Rob was driving the mower around the woods, cutting the paths, which are lovely around the woods, worth going to see, and right at the very bottom of the wood, out of the wood, onto the path, to his horror, stepped a big black puma. And we all said, when he came, he said, "I've seen the puma." We all said, "You haven't, it was a dog." And he said, "I do know what a dog looks like." So we have to believe him, because it was only 10 o'clock in the morning.
I like to think it's just like a bit of sort of classic English countryside, really.
English and obviously relaxed to the point where you have plants growing through your paving stones.
Well, you can't stop them. That's the brilliant thing about them. And some people say, how do you get that to grow? They just grow, and the problem is to thin them out and stop them taking us over, really. My greatest treat is in the evening with a glass of wine, because you've got these lovely flowers all around you and your feet, and they just feel casual, and it doesn't matter if you tread on them sometimes.
We grow all these plants, we look at these plants, they want to be seen. We have to have people see them, otherwise just have concrete.
Absolutely stunning garden there. Amazing that it was growing through the patio. I've got things growing through my patio, but they don't look nearly as pretty as all of those.
No, I think they're weeds, Jonty.
I have to do something about that.
Bob was looking a bit dapper as well, wasn't he, in his hat? And Bob can join us now, actually. Not from a sunny garden, but from a very rainy WOMAD festival in Wiltshire. Bob, it's been horrible today. We all need someone to blame. It's you, I'm afraid, we're blaming today. Are the festival goers struggling with the wet weather as well?
Yeah, it's been raining here on and off, I would say. I started for the beginning of the day. Really, it's something like this is the world of music and dance. It should be actually water of music and dance, because it has been coming down just a little bit. The ground not too bad, still quite good, a little bit muddy. But we have 40,000 people coming here over the next 4 days or so. It is going to brighten up tomorrow. They may have a problem on Sunday, but those 40,000, looking at something at 92 artists and bands from about 53 countries playing on big stages. There are 7 stages in total, and I can tell you it is filling up quite quickly now. I'm just looking at all the people coming in and all the people who are surviving this wet weather. Let me just have a quick chat with this gentleman. How are you doing with this wet weather?
It's not wet, man, it's just misty. We come from Wales.
No wonder.
Yeah.
It's just misty. I mean, this is what you sort of expect, isn't it?
Well, you're not. You haven't got. Well, it's just the first day. We're just warming up. It's just steam coming off people's excitement. That's what it is.
And, how are you managing?
I'm really looking forward to a tent. Is all I can say.
Even a wet tent.
Yeah. Well, it's better than no test.
Excellent.
There's plenty of room here for everybody. You know?
Brilliant. A very, very quick chat with these ladies. Ladies, you're keeping dry. How are you doing?
Very, very well. It's a bit chilly, but we've warmed up a little bit. We're happy.
You're happy with, you're happy?
Yeah.
Good. Listen, I wish you the best of luck. Hope you see some good bands. Right, the weather, awful at the moment, but it's going to improve tomorrow. Here's the forecast.
Sky brightening, ice melting. First Great Western sponsors the ITV West Country weather.
I got a nice little kiss off those girls. Right, even if it's damp, they're in high spirits around here. It is going to be clearing through tonight. That is a front and is making its way eastwards, and I think tonight it will clear away, mainly dry with some broken cloud and reasonable temperatures. Now tomorrow morning, as I said, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have sunny spells and sunny skies all the way through the morning, and the wind will be less of a problem as well. Quite breezy up here at the moment. In the afternoon, we just carry on that way actually. Still some good sunny spells, still some kids running in front of me, and there will be sunny spells all the way through. Temperatures not bad, but they really aren't where they should be at this time of year, slightly lower. Okay, let's go to the outlook. Not so good, I'm afraid. A bit grim on Sunday. Another weather system comes in, bringing some rain first thing in the morning, and all the way through the day we will have some rain coming through. It will dry up perhaps towards the end of the day, but hopefully these people here can get some shelter. As far as next week goes, bit more unsettled, and we're going to have strong winds again, and there's going to be some showers, some sunshine as well. But actually, I would say by the end of next week it will be warming up quite dramatically. Just looking around here now, no one seems to be caring about the weather. They all seem to be enjoying themselves, and I would really say with this outlook here, it is definitely going to be good for them tomorrow, and there will be some really good scenes around here. Hello, how are you doing? Hello. Very nice too. Yeah, that's the sunshine for tomorrow. Sunshine for tomorrow, yes. That's the weather forecast. Bye-bye.
First Great Western sponsors the ITV West Country weather.
How are you today?
Lloyd's Pharmacy, proud sponsors of the Pollen Count.
It's the part of the pollen season that even when it's sunny, levels are contained at moderate. And that's what happens tomorrow. For Sunday and Monday, the readings are affected by the unsettled weather.